following the damn outline that you made. This is about to be funny in like 2.5 seconds.
Look, he chiming in already.
I'm such a natural that he felt like he needed to jump in.
He one of them producer. He gonna be all in the videos.
Oh God, the Didia podcast. He got all these rules. Okay, we got cards. We got a baby. I got this. I'm sitting on this. Depends. We can rock out for hours. That's how fresh the baby is, though.
It's that fresh.
It's that fresh.
22 days.
22 days today. Yeah.
22 days. And because of that, I forgot the camera. I remembered the baby bag.
Yes.
Got the camera.
You remember my snacks? I got my snacks.
Got your snacks. Got your extra shoes.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. No camera.
No camera. Brought the laptop, though, so...
And why is she breathing so hard?
I feel like this is her first time on the mic, but she ain't got no words for it yet.
None. Okay, so, all right. We're ready. Here we go. Baby Royal Fetish Radio.
We back. Let's get it.
Royal Fetish. All right. What are we talking about today?
We are going to be talking about... I have no fucking idea. What did the producer tell us to talk about today?
Well, let me look at these notes. They got notes and shit now. These new age podcasters, I tell you, I'm glad we got one.
We're going to be talking about the politics of sex today.
Yeah. And, I mean, it really is going to open up what this season is going to look like or sound like. Or look like and sound like now that we have our video,
other people's
visual.
Cameras.
Other people's cameras. OPC. Hey, yo.
You just wanted to say hey ho on the first episode. This is why you ain't been out in a while. This is like the club for you.
Adult conversation.
They got mood lighting and shit in
I
here.
know. This is so nice. Yes, the politics of sex.
Yes.
Which there are so many over the last couple of months. They really have been going hard with sexualizing politics and putting politics in sexy things and things that should not be sexualized.
Yeah, I think over the last... I mean, it's been ramping up, but definitely over the last few years, sex has become like one of those things that's on the battle lines of the culture war.
But the interesting thing is that sex has been everywhere for all times.
Of course.
Why do you think that it's become such a charge? Like, it's been used to sell every single thing that you can imagine. It's been used to vilify things, to amplify things, to just everything. But now it's such a central part of, as you said, the culture war.
For sure. Well, I mean, on the selling aspect of things, I think, for anybody that's, in advertising or done, psychology, sociology, all that, like the Maslow pyramid of needs, hierarchy of needs and all that, sex is on that. It's an easy one to hit on that bottom. That bottom row. Base. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, especially in the society that we live in, everything, soft drinks, liquor, whatever. But then when it actually comes to sex, people are still so uncomfortable that, when it comes to educating young people, to making sure that they don't go out there and, they want to use teen pregnancy as something to campaign on, but they don't actually want to provide, the number one way to stop teen pregnancy is to educate people about it. Right. But then also you get into things, abortion, sex toys, just a woman's autonomy over their bodies, and they've made all of these things polarizing where it really shouldn't be.
Yeah, especially because they are so personal. Our personal desires or needs, and like just how unique things are across the country. First, like you can sort of look at like as a country and our culture, and then get a little like segments of the country, and then cities, and then states, and then neighborhoods, and then households, and then people. It's like it is so personal. And these things, the three that you mentioned there, have been it's been hard to hear someone who is so disconnected from my personal being make decisions for my personal being, right, and then expand that out. So you said sex toys, which is sort of a one of the things that we pulled up in preparation for this discussion was how this discussion about banning sex toys is coming up again. I think it came up in 2016, where Ted Cruz was on a rampage to ban sex toys. And we can talk a little bit more about what that article actually looks like. But, kind of thinking about this person and his personal opinion why people shouldn't have the rights to pleasure themselves has such an impact on how I personally feel. Like, we're out here making them. We want more, more, more.
Ted Cruz strikes me as the kind of person who can't please anybody.
With or without a toy.
So therefore, he's like one of those guys that's like, what do you mean you have a dildo? Like, you take that shit personal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in the picture, I hope producer extraordinaire Orlando can pull up that picture. But in the picture, it looks like he's describing the dildo that he's imagining jumping into his face.
He should let that dildo jump in his face.
But I think it's so interesting to me that the people who, like somebody like Ted Cruz, who talks so much about freedom, right, and people's freedoms, also wants to police people's individual freedoms to something as simple as a sex toy. A sex toy doesn't hurt anyone outside of their space. That's something you have in your own private space, and it ain't got shit to do with you, bro. Like, let it be. But I do think it does have to do with people in this goes for a lot of people across the board. Like, people look at people who are sexually free, sexually open, and if they themselves are not that free or sexually open, they then resent people who are living their lives. Like, I think like people who look at the LGBTQ community and want to silence their voices or stop them from getting married, and like just look at queer folk and just hate on us for it. It's like, that's because they have something that they do in their personal life that they are either ashamed of or are unable to vocalize and express to others. So they hating on everybody else. Like, if I can't do my shit, I don't want you to do your shit. Like, that's how you strike me, because it's usually them same type motherfuckers that's caught in airport bathrooms tapping their foot under somebody else's stall and shit.
Or I think now they're on the apps now.
Yeah. But they still be getting caught in the bathrooms though.
Yeah, they just
travel to countries where they feel that they're not gonna get caught at.
I mean, I think that it's really interesting because I certainly want to open this discussion for those that are listening who feel like, well, I don't have to like everything, or even feel and so, okay, fine, that doesn't mean you have to like shit on what anyone else is doing or campaign to shut those people's pleasures, or not even pleasures, like their existence down.
For sure.
But I know that there's a religious aspect, and through the season we are definitely going to talk about porn and religion, sex and religion, the politics of religion and sex. But I do think that there is this aspect of like, I believe this so much, I don't want this for you, right? But there,
for sure.
And like, trust me, I've been saved by people before. Thank you so much for your well intentions. Thanks, but no thanks. But why does it have to come across with like such a browbeating? Like, how are we not at the point where you can't lead by example, right? Or just have an opinion, express why in your biblical text or whatever, your religious text or your lifestyle, why you feel that this is important, and leave it there. It is like being forced down our throat. There are laws, like none of these things that are coming across make me feel like this person honestly has my well-being in mind, or this makes me want to study their teaching, their text, their ways of life to preserve my own. Not at all. What is that about? Tell me, like, why is it that way?
I think so many people lack faith that they need other people to do what they say or believe what they believe in order to raise up their own faith.
So this is control. This is not care.
That's how I see it.
Okay.
You know, because to me, it's like, you know, people I know who are good, insert religion here, usually are the people who just lead by example, or the example that they feel is how people should live, and don't knock other people for how they live. You know, and that goes for shit, even I guess good atheists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like whatever it is you believe, like,
or lack of belief.
Yeah, you don't have to force other people into what it is that you do in order to help people in their lives. Like, you could just be helpful. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people out there that are looking for help. People who are fine where they at, let them live. Like,
so I actually want to take that and kind of do a little spin on it for people that subscribe to the things that we enjoy, that we like, that we live by, that, and I think this is sort of the way that we operate. You know, as you're listening to the season, as you're listening to tonight's show, and we're going really hard on the things that are important to us, if it's not for you, it's not for you. And that's
turn
okay.
Shit off.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
mad easy for you.
It really is. And for those that are listening, like, I can't believe that they're bringing this, you know, filth to podcasting or what have it, you know, or to the airwaves, wherever. You know, like, there's space for all of us.
Word.
You know, and I think that's so important. There are people who go really hard for the things that we're into, kink and you know, all kinds of sexual proclivities, but they get really pushy too. Yeah. Like in our DMs, when it's just like, when are you gonna do? Yeah. More. And so I think that we have something that we can learn from each other in these spaces, that, like, forcing your likes and dislikes on people, your politics on folks, is the worst way to try to bring them over.
Agreed. Like, you know, when it comes to people who might engage in certain acts outside. Those people didn't consent to be a part of your act. You know what I'm saying? So have respect.
Right.
You know, and it's the same kind of thing. You know, I believe that everybody should have the freedom to worship who and what they worship and all of that. Or if you don't have that,
right,
you have the freedom for that too. But it's when you start stepping over other people's lines and then trying to tell somebody else how to live, what to do, things like that, then it's not freedom anymore.
Right.
You know?
So let's pivot into some of the politics that we've recently, since we've been gone at least, that have come up that either we feel are, like, I don't know, that are ridiculous, that are worthy of discussion, that people should look into, or that are like, keep an eye on this shit, because this is where it is now. But
the one that I think that comes to mind automatically is because I'm looking at you right now, all voluptuous and full.
I'm so full.
Is breastfeeding. Why are people so anti breastfeeding? Like,
now they not. Now that there's no damn formula, like, pull your titties out, make some milk,
feed the community.
A wet nurse.
No, but I mean, like, you know, there's been this thing where people have, like, literally, like, I've seen videos of people screaming on women trying to feed their babies, and it's like, that is not a sexual thing,
right?
Period. So, like, when I think about the politics of sex, politics of sexuality, politics of our body, you know, our bodies have become, you know, political battlegrounds.
Right.
So, like, with something like that, it also goes down to that same thing where it's like shame. People are ashamed of the human body, which is always confusing to me when it comes from people who is like, you know, this is the pinnacle of creation.
Right.
If the human body is the pinnacle of creation, then appreciate it. Like, it's amazing that you can sustain life through your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be all this other thing, but going back to what you were just saying, like, if women's bodies are only shown for sex, only shown for sex and selling sex, then something like that might make somebody who, you know, they have no other framework
reference,
or reference, you know, frame of reference for it, then all of a sudden it becomes like, oh shit, there's a titty out.
And that's, I mean, that is they show their card like right away by being, what they'll say is either disgusted or offended, or that it's inappropriate. It's like, you are telling me that you are ashamed of the dirty thoughts that you are having about this non-sexualized act right now. You know, it's like, so the best way for you to better hide that is to say nothing.
Or they're mad that they were only fed condensed milk as a child.
Oh my gosh. And there was no formula crisis, so their mother
No
just didn't
form.
care for them.
They got Pepsi.
Oh. um yeah, I mean, I have been unapologetically breastfeeding for 21 years now. And I think that what has been really helpful has been other, like social media, really, other women not showcasing, but just normalizing
Mm-hmm.
breastfeeding. I think that also there's been an uptick in women really resisting sort of the patriarch and making women bottle feed, which, you know, hospitals have been forcing up until late for women, especially Black women, um, to bottle feed instead of trusting their own body or providing the resources so that you can actually sustain life with breastfeeding. So it's been good to see uh, a curve there, but it shouldn't be there. It's like one of them things, like, why are we even discussing this? Or just like you said, where it's appropriate or not appropriate. It's appropriate to eat damn near everywhere. There are like no places where you can't eat, so why are we shutting that off for babies? But we have seen how they care about babies in this last little leg of, I don't know, the last couple of, what has it been, weeks now or months with this formula nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have been able to see that this has absolutely nothing to do with this country or this culture prioritizing the care of children. It really is about money and or control of our bodies. Yeah. So here's one for me. This is not like a widely discussed politic or political issue, but in the last couple of years, you know, we've been really talking about decolonizing our bodies, decolonizing sex, and I definitely think that this is something that is making a lot of movement. I'm seeing a lot of people, you know, different bodies really showcase themselves and express how they want to be expressed. We've seen people walk away from studios and from companies and things of that sort. So I'm really happy to see where that's going to go. But have you noticed any resistance to that?
Yes, absolutely. I think who is it? What's that lady's name? Candace
Oh,
Owens.
I was gonna say, damn, you coming straight with somebody's name. Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
bitch.
Um she was like really offended that there's this one sister, I don't know her name, but
Mm-hmm.
she's a fitness model.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you would say like she's a plus size fitness
Mm-hmm.
model. She does like yoga
Yeah,
and has been featured on I think like Nike and Gatorade.
Gatorade. Yeah.
And yo, she was so mad at that shit. Like she was like, "That's not healthy." And it's like, no, all different types of bodies can be healthy. There's not only one type of body that is a
Mm-hmm.
healthy body. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was like just seeing how like upset that she got off of that shit had me cracking up because it's like, you know, I think there always is for years for especially I find it more with women than men, but men do it too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like skinny versus heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Like as if people are supposed to be at war based on their body types and
That
shit
has
like
nothing to
that.
do with each other.
And women who are lighter, weight wise, talking mad shit and feeling like they can always have, you know, the butt of their joke
Mm-hmm.
of being somebody who's heavier. You know, and I think, you know, you see it with men more like when it comes to if a man is heavier, then sometimes they're made more of like a folly in
Mm-hmm.
the joke and shit
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so much like always put that
Yeah.
way. But you have, I think, actually no, you've seen it more as the Instagram world has
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah.
You know, you see men like they're saying like men have had more depression
Mm-hmm.
and things like that in regards to you know body
Image.
body image and things like that. So I think that's come out that way, and then I think in our world, in the porn world, a whole lot of studios have tried as of late to either throw some people of color in they shit, throw some trans folk in they shit, and you could tell that it's like reaching.
Yeah.
Um, they haven't. I haven't seen it though with body type as much though. Like where they're looking like if it was a studio that's been getting by on like skinny white women for mad years, they're like, all right, well, we'll have some skinny Puerto Rican women or some skinny black women, but they haven't changed like going for different sizes of women.
I just want to say to plus size folks, fat body folks in fat bodies, like, and all the different intersections of ways that people's bodies present, like, keep putting it out there, because I definitely grew up with the understanding of skinny being healthy and fat being unhealthy, and having to challenge those thoughts like hardcore. And it did come from seeing other people putting their bodies out there, or companies like Nike and Gatorade highlighting those bodies and showing like those bodies can do things that yours cannot. Cannot. You are fragile, weakling, or just even being able to see people with different body types in sexual situations. That's just like, wow, that's really a turn on, or that is beautiful. Why haven't I seen this before? Why haven't I felt this way before? But it's because you haven't seen it, or it hasn't been highlighted.
That gives me a good example. So I've been hoeing for a long time.
Yeah.
And and it's like people ask like, do you work with women of all shapes and sizes? Do you have clients of all shapes and sizes? And it's like, yeah. And I have seen like in my DMs, like I remember I did this scene with Cotton Candy. And I had some like skinny chicks hitting me up like, how could you be into a woman like that? Like, yo, she's sexy as fuck. Yo, she put her whole titty on my head, like bang. You know what I mean?
Her one titty. Yeah.
Two titties, you wouldn't have seen my head no more. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yes.
And that's one of my favorite scenes I ever did. And she cool as fuck, awesome to work with. But like, to me, I find that you can find, or at least I find, something sexy about everybody. You can find something about anybody's uniqueness that makes them fucking sexy. Yeah. So if you can't do that as a director or a producer, and your job is to make porn, you suck at your job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You should be able to highlight all different kinds of bodies. If you're a fucking lighting director, you should be able to light all types of skin tones. You should be able to make all types of sex beautiful. And it doesn't mean that you also have to do that shit.
Right.
Which is like what goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Just because, two men, two women, non-binary people, trans folk want to get married, it doesn't mean that you also have to marry them. You can marry who you are into, and that's fine. And the worst argument, which I believe to be a straw man argument, is when they will say, well, if you're going to marry another man, then what stops you from marrying a dog? That's really fucking insulting to call somebody a dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Human beings can marry other human beings. Right. Human beings can make those decisions. Human beings are consenting adults, can make those decisions. So I think it's really important, like, when you look at our industry and the politics of how people use our bodies, if you cannot highlight and display in whatever your aesthetic is, all types of bodies, all types of sex, you suck at your job, yo.
Yeah.
Flat out.
That's they suck at their job even when they don't highlight other people. But that was a nice little way for me to plug when you talked about people getting married, that I'm an officiant now, and I can legally marry people.
That's what you did over the pandemic?
That is what I did over the pandemic. And I will marry any and all bodies that want to be in union with one another. I will not marry humans and animals, though.
Yeah, that's
because I cannot get consent from those animals. But that's, it is a straw man argument. It's one of those things. It's also a dog, no pun intended, a dog whistle of the perversion that people insert into other people's politics of sex.
That should make me think. Since we have brought him up on this motherfucking Ted Cruz when he was like, Disney's gonna make Goofy and like Mickey Mouse kiss or some fucking crazy shit like that. It's like, what the fuck Disney programs are you watching, dude?
Yeah, right.
But also, if you look back, if you really watch cartoons, Bugs Bunny been dressing up in drag since way back in the day when they was still doing fucking blackface and kissing Elmer Fudd. So you got your CRT and your Don't Say Gay in Looney Tunes back in the day.
And your bestiality, your cross-pollination. I rather see Goofy kiss, who did you say, Mickey, than that fucking rapist skunk that they've had for years.
Pepe Le Pew?
Yes.
Didn't they shut that down?
I hope so, but they probably just like rebooted it with a new.
They rebooted him with an apology in the beginning.
I'm so sorry.
He read that shit like an NFL player in the beginning.
Okay. And I know we're going to have a episode about sports and sex, but there are definitely some politics that are involved with sex and sports.
For sure.
That are ridiculous. There's no separation of powers there. It's like when you reach a certain level of athleticism, you are immune to your responsibility as a human being.
And you're also now completely up for your body being under public scrutiny. Like I always think about Venus and Serena. Mm-hmm. Venus was too tall.
Mm-hmm. And Serena was too strong.
Mm-hmm. And people would question, they would question their womanhood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When they were girls.
For real.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then the opposite for men, it's like you don't like you can do that basketball shit so well. Of course, you can't ask for consent. Word. Like it is really interesting how our gender plays a difference in which politics get upheld. Or don't. I lost her sock. Okay. Oh, thank you. This is live. I was like, I can't play this off. She needs her sock on.
Royal Fetish.
Orlando supplied a list of laws.
Yes.
That are actual laws on the books. Is that how this works? Like, there's actually.
I mean, it's in Marie Claire, and I've been featured in Marie Claire, so it's got to be.
Shameless plug.
No shame whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, this particular article is 11 weirdest sex laws in America, and it's an older article, but I haven't seen any of this stuff come up on the books to be removed. If anything, new shit's been added.
Does it tell you the state and all that?
It does. And you want me to read some off to you?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
All right, cool. And we can, if there's any fact checkers out there that want to update this list for us or tell us, that they are campaigning for this shit to be unweird, or like let us know. Maybe we'll have you as a guest.
And we'll see if I fucked in that state.
Well, starting with Anniston, Alabama. Have you?
I have never fucked in Alabama.
I
feel like Alabama is one of those states where I'm like, if you're from Alabama and you want to fuck, you gotta meet me somewhere else.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I aided and abetted my sister to fuck in Alabama. Which one? I have 4. So, all right. If a woman loses a game of pool, it is illegal for her to settle her tab with sex.
That's somebody who was watching porn when they came up with that law.
That's
they came up with that law after they busted their nut. They were like, that was wrong. That was wrong.
So it is legal to gamble in Alabama.
It's legal to gamble. You just can't put up sex for the gambling.
Oh.
Is what they're saying.
Well,
or only a woman. Like, can the man be like, hey, if you win, then X, Y, and Z is okay.
I don't know. It just says if a woman loses a game of pool, but what about other games?
You can get that pussy up for dice, though.
I need to know because I don't never have cash in Alabama. So All right.
Yo,
Second,
that's mad specific, though.
it is. Okay. 2. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It is illegal to have sex with the truck driver in a toll booth. That's so specific.
That's somebody who got cheated on.
In
Truck
a-
driver was thrashing out, and they was just like, "Oh man, fuck that. You never gonna do this again."
But can you have sex in a toll booth with anyone else?
With the toll collector, maybe that was it. The toll collector was hating,
Tired of
Like,
seeing
I
y'all
ain't
truck drivers.
getting all the ass.
I'm not leaving this toll booth again for you. Have you definitely had sex in Pennsylvania?
Yes, east, west, north, south Pennsylvania. I fucked in it.
I have had sex in Pennsylvania as well.
Shout out to Philly.
Oh, yes. I've had sex in Philly, Pittsburgh, and Slippery Rock.
Go Steelers.
Slippery Rock, you know who you are.
Oh shit.
Cottonwood.
Is that what you called him?
No, that's what he called me.
Slippery Rock. Oh, shout out to Harrisburg too. But I didn't fuck anybody in a truck or a toll car.
Or a toll booth.
Yeah.
Where then were you even fucking? Cottonwood, Arizona. Couples having sex in a vehicle with flat wheels will be fined.
What?
The fine will be doubled if the sex occurred in the back seat. What air in your
But was-
tires got to do with that?
Yeah, if you're in the back seat, you know the car ain't moving.
But what are the flat tires? Maybe they're like, you have your priorities are out of order. Arizona?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's
on
some
that, on that
tour.
That was some tour. That was some tour pussy right there. Shout out Arizona. I have no idea what city it was though.
You have no idea who it was.
But I do know it was like 118 degrees outside.
And there was air in the tires.
There was air in the tour bus.
No laws have been broken then. All right. Newcastle, Wyoming. Couples are banned from having sex while standing inside a store's walk-in meat freezer. It's so cold. It's so cold. You've been to Wyoming?
I've been to Wyoming.
I've never been to Wyoming.
I've been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
You've been in Jackson's Hole in Wyoming in a freezer? In a meat freezer?
That's Jackson if you're nasty.
Oh.
Nah, but wait. Specifically, you can't fuck in a meat freezer.
Standing.
So you
inside.
could lay down in a meat freezer and
And it
fuck?
also says couples. So
Somebody might have slipped and fell.
threesomes are
Someone
allowed.
got sued. That one, somebody
That's
got
what
sued
happened.
for that one.
That's what it was.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
I can't remember if I fucked there though. I was really high.
All right. This is a good one. Damn. Sorry, Miss Jackson. I can't even say the city. So it's in Utah. Who cares what city? No woman is allowed to have sex with a man while riding in an ambulance. In addition to normal charges, the woman's name will be published in a local newspaper. Just the woman.
Yo,
Huh.
that's fucked up. That's
Yeah.
that's definitely some Utah shit.
Yeah.
I've been to Utah.
Me too.
I was not interested in fucking in Utah.
I fucked in Utah, but I brought my own fuck with me.
Not if Ted Cruz has his say.
No.
Oh.
It wasn't a toy.
Oh shit! You flew someone out to Utah,
Why did I? Yeah.
or they flew out to you in Utah?
It was a work trip, and I was like, I have accommodations.
I felt like in Utah they would have one of those laws where you gotta like fuck through a hole in the sheet or something.
We definitely did not put holes in the hotel sheet because I was not being charged for that.
Like you cannot have skin to skin contact. There can only
No.
be insertion, and that's it.
Well,
You can't make noise or nothing. That's how I pictured the laws in Utah. Like I feel like all of these would fit for Utah.
Yeah, well, definitely not in an ambulance.
One time in an ambulance, I had been in a car accident, and you know how like they ask for your like ID or some shit,
Okay.
and like my wallet, like a fucking condom fell out, and the guy was like, golden ticket. That shit
so
made
inappropriate.
me feel completely disgusted to be in that ambulance.
His name should be in the local newspaper.
Word, that motherfucker should be
What a perv.
illegal.
All right, let's do. How many more you want to do?
This is interesting to me.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, there's only 11. Let's keep going. All right, Illinois. It's punishable by law to have sex while hunting or fishing on your wedding day.
Wait, what? Read that shit again.
It's punishable by law. This is like from 2010, 2011. So this is not that long ago.
Okay.
It's punishable by law to have sex while hunting or fishing on your wedding day.
But every other day's cool?
Yeah. Who the fuck hunts and fishes on their wedding day?
I don't know. That's like some real like carnal shit though. We tied this union. Now let's go murder something together.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like
that sounds kind of weird though. Like that's really specific. Like
yeah, I feel like the woman that was asked to go hunting and fishing on her wedding day made this law. She's like,
she petitioned for that.
That's
shit.
punishable by law. Okay, Montana, have you been?
I have not.
Okay, all sexual activity between.
Oh, but I fucked in Illinois though. For sure.
That's a given.
Yeah.
Okay. All sexual activity between members of the opposite sex in the front yard of a home after sundown is illegal, if they're nude. Let me read this again. All sexual activity between members of the opposite sex in the front yard of a home after sundown is illegal if they're nude.
That shit got layers to it.
It does.
I don't even know what the fuck any of that, like how that even.
So
you can't fuck in the front yard of a home.
Oh, if you're opposite sex. So same sex fucking in the front yard with some clothes on is legal.
That's weird.
That's
the weirdest law of all of them.
Trickery.
So far. That's kind of. But who's fucking in the front yard anyway? Like that's.
Nobody just thought of this shit.
That's wild.
This happened.
Don't fuck in your front yard. Your neighbors don't want to see that shit.
No, that is not consensual.
What state was that?
In Montana. That's why we haven't been there, because their laws are trickery.
Because they just outside fucking on the yard.
Oh my God. Okay, Wisconsin. Have you been there?
Yes.
Connorsville specifically?
No.
Okay. It is against the law for a man to shoot off a gun when his female partner has an orgasm.
Yo, that's some celebration shit. You cutting into people's celebration.
People.
Yeehaw!
People was probably just out there banging just to like make it seem like, yeah, and the wife in the front yard fucking somebody of the opposite sex.
Who just be licking off like that? Don't even seem like a good idea.
That's just dumb. Well, I guess they got so many bullets to waste.
I fucked in Wisconsin. No, I wasn't there long enough.
No, okay. Back to Utah.
Uh-oh.
Sex with an animal, unless performed for profit, is considered sodomy and therefore is legal.
Don't fuck an animal nowhere. That should be a law on the books everywhere. No fucking animals.
Unless performed for profit?
But you can't shoot pool?
No.
That's wild, yo.
That's so
wild.
Gross.
For
I
profit.
really want to update on all of these. And I want to fact check. And I want my name Ada Marie Claire.
What is Mitt Romney doing out there?
All right, last two. Oxford, Ohio. Definitely been to Ohio.
Fucked it all through Ohio, I feel like, yeah.
All through Ohio. Where were we in Ohio? In Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
Yeah. Okay. It's illegal for a woman to strip off her clothing while standing in front of a man's picture. What? Then I broke the law.
That's somebody who came home and found one of them fireman calendars in his house. And he was like, fuck the fire department. But he couldn't go after them. So he can go after their pictures.
You need a king calendar.
I need to get that like ASAP.
Okay. Let's start working on it.
I want it to be a lunar calendar.
And see, now you're getting all confident. I need people to buy the calendar and strip in front of it and get arrested. No calendar for daddy. All right, here's the last one. I think we might be able to get it out. Here we go. Minnesota. It is illegal for any man to have sexual intercourse with a live fish. Ladies, apparently you're in the clear.
Leave the animals, amphibious or otherwise, alone. Like, this is not okay.
Wow.
The fact that people out there trying that shit.
This is why we can't have universal health care. This is why we cannot have universal, because they're going to be wasting this shit on doing dumb shit like having sex with animals.
Yo, I'm still just sitting here thinking, like, what would make you want to even try that shit?
I don't know.
Like, it's Whew.
I don't know.
But then you won't. It's people out there trying this. That to the point where you have to make a law about it. Like somebody's like, we have to protect these fish from motherfuckers out here trying to fuck a fish. That's wild.
This is just too much, and I just don't understand how. I don't understand how we can't get laws and we can't move politics towards safeguarding a lot of things like sexual education and things like that. But somehow people were able to move these asinine ass laws all the way through existence.
Because that seemed like more of a common sense thing. Like you shouldn't be out there fucking fish.
Yeah, but the time that it took to think that up, to and to
do you think
to
somebody ran on that issue? Like that was like part of their campaign slogan?
Like fuck that fish fucker. Yeah,
I will make sure that fish fucking is outlawed throughout our great state.
On my first day of office.
I'm going to make an executive order.
Pass me that fish. I mean that pen. Yeah, that's whack.
I think, like, with all of these laws, I was honestly expecting, like, these shits are, like, fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Like, next level ridiculous. But I am also interested in laws that they have where it's like, I know Mississippi for a span of time, I don't know if this has changed, but I know that they banned sex toys in Mississippi.
There are actually still a couple of states in the U.S. that we cannot ship. And our distributor, who is an amazing law-abiding person, can't ship there.
And there's also states where certain positions are still illegal. Mm-hmm. They don't enforce. I always wondered how they enforce shit like that. Like they heard somebody fucking, and then they just come knock on your door and see what position you was in. Like how that even work?
Well, I mean, there's things. I think this is where sex workers get really drawn into these silly kind of laws or very intrusive laws. Mm-hmm. Where it's not okay to shoot porn in your city or your state, even if you're in your own home or your own studio, everyone is consenting and all that kind of stuff. But then people can shoot home videos and do like revenge porn, and there's no law supporting them. So I think that's where sex workers wind up taking the brunt of these kind of laws because, like, for example, in a lot of cities and states, you cannot shoot porn, but it's legal to have like amateur porn, right? Or to turn the video camera on, or even where people are filming people non-consensually and using it as revenge porn, but there's no law to protect that person.
Laws haven't caught up with a lot of digital stuff.
No, but they definitely stay caught up on generalizing all of the shit that we do, which is legal, consensual, and in our right minds.
Word.
So, welcome to the politics of sex. There's so much.
Yeah, we definitely are going to be talking about a whole lot on this season. Royal Fetish Radio, porn and politics. Oh man, it's good to be back.
It's hard. I done changed 3 shitty diapers. Got thrown up on. You can't have a calendar apparently.
Yeah, she ain't with that.
She ain't with that shit. And we're out the house. That feels good.
We really are.
We got Zoom going. We got text messages, FaceTimes, Taylor in the headphones, it's a lot.
Yeah, we got it going.
We do. We can do it though.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so definitely tune in. We're going to be talking about all those topics. We're going to be on our social media, giving y'all some opportunities to ask questions that we going to answer for y'all on the podcast. So, let's get fucking nasty out here. Word
up. Royal Fetish Radio everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, everywhere that you listen to sexy voices, specifically ours. What are the socials?
The socials are Royal Fetish Radio on Instagram, Royal Fetish Radio on YouTube, Royal Fet Radio on Twitter, and that's what it is. Definitely just Google us and shit.
Yes. Thanks for hanging out with us. And
definitely also make sure, since we are up here in our full MILF and DILF status with the youngin', please make sure you check out our sex positive parenting page for everybody who wants to be, sex positive parents, great aunties, uncles, or just brush yourself up on things that you need to know to keep yourself healthy and safe and bring up the next generation of healthy and safe young folk.
I love that, because they'll be our lawmakers next.
Word up. That's real as fuck.
She just farted.
And that's what it is. So, as always, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all soon.
Good night.
Peace.
Royal Fetish.